and this is May's Crochets. I'm back today to share another Woobles that I made. This time it's Pinya the Pineapple. I'm a beginner crocheter, and I've been working my way through a bunch of the Woobles kits as a way for me to learn how to crochet. I have reviews and full videos of all of the previous Woobles that I made, which I will link here, and that includes the most recent one I made for Alice the Strawberry. So today I'm sharing Pinya the Pineapple to add to my crocheted fruit collection. Let's start off by looking at the package. Here is Pinya the Pineapple. Look at that cute pineapple. So here's the front of the kit, all materials included. Not sure why there's a knife. Why is there a knife? To cut the pineapple? It looks like a plastic utensil. I don't know. And here's the back of the kit. We've got everything included that you need, just like all the other kits: yarn, step-by-step videos, pre-started piece, crochet hook, stuffing, plastic eyes, yarn needle, and online instructions. Everything that you need for Pinya the Pineapple. So let me show you how she turned out. Pinya's a she, right? What do you think? Pinya the Pineapple, here she is. Let me kind of like pull these up a little. Okay, we've got the kind of pineapple body, the eyes and the cute smiling mouth. Let me turn it around. Show you the bottom. Show you the top. Pull these up a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Pinya the Pineapple. So again, this is adding to my fruit collection alongside Alice the Strawberry from before. Here's Alice the Strawberry. Okay, so I discussed a lot in my last video about Alice the Strawberry and some of my previous ones too, talking some about crochet hook size. I had gone down for Alice the Strawberry all the way down to 2.75 millimeter crochet hook as compared to the 4 millimeter crochet hook that the Woobles kit gives you, in an effort to get rid of holes through which you can see the stuffing. Like, I mean, it's a lot better with a 2.75 hook than with the 4 millimeter hook, but you can still see like some amount of holes. And so I had been experimenting also with the idea of the yarn under technique as opposed to the yarn over technique. I have another video, which I will link here, where I remade the Bjorn the Narwhal Woobles, doing yarn under instead of yarn over, but keeping everything else identical. And it really helped a lot with getting rid of the holes. So for Pinya the Pineapple, I continued with yarn under, and look how it came out. So for this kit, I actually used a 3.75 millimeter hook. So I didn't use the 4 millimeter one that the kit came with. I used 3.75, and I did yarn under. And I have to say, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Do you see any holes? Maybe a little bit still, but it's looking a lot better. And the yarn under, it makes this little, like, it's like an X stitch instead of a V stitch. It's not that visible with this Woobles Easy Peasy yarn. But you can still sort of see a little bit of a difference. It just looks like tighter and like more close together. So I really think I'm going to continue with yarn under. I feel like this is for sure the direction that I'm going to keep going in. I'm wondering for my future Woobles if I'll use the same 3.75 millimeter hook size, or if maybe I'll go down one more 3.5 millimeter, but I probably wouldn't need to go much smaller than that. I really think it's the yarn undering that's making a difference as opposed to the crochet hook size. I've been learning a little more about this Easy Peasy yarn the way it is. It's just like, it's stretchy, and so it means that when you are pulling your crochet hook or crochet stitches like tighter, it's like pulling the yarn like together and like opening up these holes. Like, it kind of makes sense that like a stretchy yarn like this, the tighter you pull, like you'd think that the tighter you pull, the more the holes would like go away, but actually it's like you're like pulling it to like make the holes open up. So I totally get it. It's just maybe the way this yarn is. It's kind of this beginner Easy Peasy yarn, and that's just the way it is. But I do think the yarn under is making a really big difference for that. So I'm pretty happy with that. Overall, this Woobles was great. There wasn't anything too crazy. Like, the Woobles body is very similar to all of the other ones. Increases, single crochets, and decreases. Adding the eyes, safety eyes, same as always. And then the embroidery with the mouth now I've done a few times. There's my other little smiley face, smiling Alice. So that's not too bad. I'm getting definitely used to that. I think the most, again, interesting thing about this one is the leaves. You actually make these in two separate rounds. So there's an inner round of inner leaves and then a round of outer leaves. And the inner leaves, I think there's four of them. You do single crochets and then you crochet into the, sorry, you do you do foundation chain and then you crochet into the chain, technique that I've done plenty of times now before. When I'm doing that with yarn under, I'm still doing, or when I'm yarn undering the rest of the kit, I'm still doing yarn over for those. I don't know if people do like yarn under when they're crocheting into their chain stitches. I don't know if that's a thing. But I've just been sticking with kind of the regular yarn over for those ones, because I kind of want, like, I want these to be as big as possible, if that makes sense. And if the yarn under is like a little bit smaller or tighter, so you do four of the leaves around, and then you crochet them together. I learned my lesson from Alice's Strawberry, where they have you put a stitch marker in the first stitch of the first leaf and that you leave it in all the way so that at the very end you can you know exactly where to attach all of the leaves together. When I was doing Alice, I was thinking like, oh, I just need to do this for the first leaf, and then I had the stitch marker out, and then at the end when it told me to stitch it together back based on where that first stitch marker was, it wasn't in there anymore. So I kind of knew where to put it, but I wasn't positive exactly which stitch it went in, so I wasn't super sure. So this time with Pinya the Pineapple, I did keep the stitch marker in the whole time, and so I knew exactly which one to reattach it to. So that was for the inner set of these leaves. For the outer set, you make the four separate leaves and you don't sew them back together. You don't reattach them at the end. You just, when you're sewing them on, you just like attach it like open, and then that's how it kind of gets reattached. I feel like you could attach them. I'm not exactly sure why they do it that way. Maybe it's easier to sew the outer piece with them like open like that. I'm not super sure. The pattern did say, and the video said, like, if you want to kind of make the leaves stand up if they're drooping, which yes, mine clearly are, it said just like tug on them, pull on them. So I tried to do that, but like that did not, I mean, they're not standing up super well. It said you could also try like stitching some of the leaves together. I guess if you stitch like a part of the outer ring with part of the inner ring, maybe that would help it stand up some. So I didn't try that. So maybe I still should. I've been sort of debating about how it looks like this. Like it does look a little goofy, like pineapples. It should really be standing up a little bit more straight. But also like if you let it go and it's kind of droopy like this, it's like the outer leaves and the inner leaves kind of like blend together, which kind of is an okay look. It almost looks like pineapple hair, green pineapple hair. I don't know. But I still think he's super cute, or she's super cute. Pinya the Pineapple. I don't know. She, he, it, something. So yeah, overall pretty pleased with how it turned out. I love that I've got my crochet fruit collection, really good for summer. Both strawberries and pineapples, definitely good summer fruits as it's really hot here. And looking forward to my next Woobles. And I think I'm going to keep going with yarn under, because I'm really liking how it's coming out. So I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for keeping me company, and I'll see you next time. Bye.